What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video and for my next movie review, I am going to be reviewing the next Star Wars episode in the series. I'm reviewing them all in chronological order, from 1 to 7. I reviewed 1, and I put that up on my YouTube video about a week ago, or on my YouTube channel about a week ago. I reviewed episode 1, gave it a very good review, a good review. Now I'm going to talk about the next Star Wars movie in the series, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. The next one in chronological order. So it does continue off the story of Phantom Menace a little bit. And it centers around one of the big plot points is Anakin Skywalker is growing up and learning how to become a Jedi, but he struggles with feelings of love, he struggles with feelings of loss, all in his quest to become a Jedi Master. So he's a very conflicted individual, and you see it through the film. He deals with his love for Padme Amidala, and he deals with his constant criticism from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Yoda even gets in there, and he's very suspicious about Anakin. He doesn't think Anakin will pan out very well. So that's pretty much the major story. Kind of in the back burner a little bit is that the Republic is disbanding. There are a lot of nations in the Republic, a lot of countries, a lot of places in the Republic that are seceding from the Republic and forming their own nation. So it's the Galactic Republic is threatened by a separatist movement, and this could lead to civil war among all the people of the Galactic Republic. And Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker have to prevent that and get peace in the nation. And you have peace in the nation and whatnot. And it is a battle between droids versus clones in this movie. So that's pretty much what the film is about anyway. Now I'm going to talk about characters. First of all, you got to start with the major character, Anakin Skywalker, played by, this time, Hayden Christensen. I remember in the first movie I had said that he was played by Jake Lloyd, who was a 9-year-old kid. Well, this is an older Anakin Skywalker, so they jump all the way up to when he's about a teenager, late teenager, 20s, early 20s, something like that. And I gotta tell you, I agree with a lot of people who are Star Wars fans do not think that Hayden Christensen was a good fit as Anakin Skywalker. I'm one of those people who agree. He just wasn't a good fit. I don't think he was a terrible actor. I really don't. Because he was trying his hardest in this movie. He was really trying his hardest in this film to portray Anakin as a struggling individual. He portrays Anakin Skywalker as a whiny, bratty teenager. That's what he portrays him as. Now, that's probably what George Lucas wanted to convey when he was making this movie. That probably is true. But it just didn't come off as the best portrayal. And I think Anakin Skywalker, or Hayden Christensen, as Anakin Skywalker, was a bad fit. Padme Amidala, played by Natalie Portman. She returns from the first film, and she is okay in her She's okay in her solo scenes without Anakin, but the love scenes between Anakin and Padme are long, overdrawn, drawn out sequences that just like, when is this gonna end? I mean, the two have practically no chemistry. The chemistry just is not there. And Anakin Skywalker goes in this stupid little monologue about sand. Padme says that she likes sand and all that kind of stuff because it reminds her of her childhood or whatever. And Anakin says, I don't like sand. Sand is coarse. It gets into things. What the fuck is that shit? I mean, oh my god. Pardon me for my French, but it's just... holy crap, that's awful. That is just awful. Pretty much the whole movie, from... oh, and, not Boba Fett, but Jar Jar Binks is in this movie a little bit. But thank God he was only in the movie for a little bit, because I hated his character in Episode 1. Episode 2, maybe a little bit more improvement from the guy who plays Boba Fett, or Jar Jar Binks in the first movie. Maybe a little improvement, but not very much. He's still a bad character. The first 2 acts of this movie are long, they're drawn out, not a lot's going on, it's kind of boring to tell you the truth. So the first 2 acts are not very good. Not the greatest, you know? But that 3rd act, the final scenes of this movie are good. They are good. The battle scenes between the droids and the droids and the clones, and the clones and the Jedi versus the droids and Count Dooku, who is the leader of this separatist movement. They're good. They're very good. They are very good. The lightsaber battle between Count Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan, very good. And the battle between Yoda and Count Dooku, very good. So, the final act of this movie is worth it. I mean, if you want to go through the first 2 acts of pretty much nothing but boredom, I'd say... actually, you know what I'd say? I'd say fast forward through the first 2 acts, and then get right to the battle scene. Right to the battle scene between the clones and the droids. I'd say get right to that, because it is so worth it. I mean, there are other positives in this movie. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi continues. I mean, he just continued from Episode 1. He's a good fit as Obi-Wan. Not the best actor in the movie, but he's a good fit as Obi-Wan. He really is. He is a positive in this film. Sam Jackson as Mace Windu has more of a role from the first episode. He is good. You know, Sam Jackson is good in this, in the Star Wars, in the early Star Wars movies. I think he really is. He's a good character to have. Yoda, you know, played by Frank Oz. Yoda's a good character. I mean, Yoda is a... this is Yoda's first appearance in the Star Wars universe. In the chronological order. He does not appear in episode... no, he actually does appear in Episode 1. My mistake. Ian McDiarmid plays Chancellor Palpatine / Darth Sidious. Who... and I may have just given a big spoiler to those who have seen it, but this movie's been out for over a decade now. And Chancellor Palpatine, who is a Grand Chancellor, who's elected Supreme Chancellor of the Galactic Republic in Episode 2, In episode 1, you kind of see little inklings of, okay, maybe this guy's pretty fishy. He's not trustworthy. But then you really see in episode 2 that this guy's not the best. This guy's not the best leader for us, for the Republic. You just see that. Christopher Lee as Count Dooku is great. I mean, Christopher Lee, who legendary actor, absolutely legendary English actor. He was magnetizing as Count Dooku. He was so good. One of the big positives of this movie, for sure. And our new character in this film, because he did not appear in episode 1, but Christopher Lee is just magnetizing. And unfortunately, Christopher Lee just recently passed away. He passed away last year, as a matter of fact. Rest in peace, Christopher Lee, for sure. And a lot of people will know him as the James Bond villain, Francisco Scaramanga, in The Man with the Golden Gun. So those are pretty much the major characters. Like I said, another complaint I have about this movie are the battle droids. They are dumb. They are some of the worst characters to ever come out of the Star Wars universe. The droids are like little twigs. They can easily be snapped apart by the Jedi, and your clones as well. They're not good henchmen. They're not physically imposing like the Star Troopers are, or Stormtroopers in the original trilogy. Stormtroopers are 100 times better than the droids. The droids are just awful characters. To me, definitely. The clones, however, in this movie are pretty much Stormtroopers. They're pretty much modeled after the Stormtroopers that came later on in the universe. Or pretty much the exact same, I'm not quite sure, but, it is just, it's something. I mean, for sure. So anyway, yeah, that's a negative of the film. Another negative is the long, overdrawn scene, like I said, scenes between Padme and Anakin. Long and overdrawn. The first 2 acts of this movie are relatively boring. There's a little scene in there that's pretty solid, that Obi-Wan's battling a bounty hunter. That's actually pretty solid. But not much fighting going around, just boring crap in this movie. And then, so those are negatives of the movie. But that battle scene between the clones and the droids is worth it. Absolutely worth it. I'm going to give this movie a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I think overall, it is a very disappointing movie. It really is. I was expecting better coming off Phantom Menace, which I liked. It was a good movie. Not a great movie, but a good movie. This movie's not even good. It's just disappointing. Mediocre, except for that last act. So, I mean, 2.5 out of 5 stars. There were many negatives, but that one positive of that battle scene at the end, at the third act. For sure. So that is it for my video on Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Coming up, I will be reviewing Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So stay tuned for that. D-Rock 1992 out.